Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another video. Alright, I hope you all had a fantastic new year. I haven't made a video in like 4 or 5 days because if you didn't see my posts, basically I've been dying of some strange flu that's been going around. I don't know if it's the UK, Europe, the world, I have no idea. But I've seen a lot of people talking about it. And I'm pretty sure I've probably caught it off my nana, because I went to go visit her on Christmas and she wasn't very well. And to be fair, I also picked up my brother, who again wasn't very well. So I could have caught it off anyone, but yeah. So I've been really unwell the past like 2 days. Now I just have a really annoying tickly throat. So if you keep seeing me cough in this video, obviously I'll mute the I'll mute the mic so you don't have to keep listening to me just dying. But yeah, it's just that. So I do apologize for that in advance. You might be able to hear my throat. I can't really tell. But yeah, I sound a bit weird. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Like I said, it's been so long. It really has. I mean, it's been like 5 days, but that's a long time for not making a video. So today, I'm going to watch what I've been told is the last of the World of Remnants. I think there's like 7 of them. Of course, they're only a couple of minutes long, so it's not too bad. But we're going to watch them all. It's going to be great. I'm so glad to be back. Let's go. Alright, we got the first one, Episode 9, Vale. Let's see. I know after like volume 3, sorry, I really wanted to just get straight into volume 4.
School's definitely out. Let's see if we can't all learn a little something.
Oh.
Welcome to the world of
I like that.
Not the best place to live, but depending on where you're staying.
So Crow's now doing the
the
voiceovers because Ozpin went missing, didn't he?
They fall. The Faunus have menagerie, but the sweet spots are Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo, the 4 kingdoms of the modern era, and each one's special in its own little way. Let's talk about Vale. In the grand scheme of things, Vale's pretty well guarded. It rests on the northeastern end of the world's largest continent, Sanus. Like most successful kingdoms, Vale's survival over the years can mostly be attributed to prime real estate. Its front is protected by steep mountains, and its back is against waters too shallow for any real threat to pop out of. Not to say I haven't heard some crazy fish stories. Aside from the main city, which the kingdom's named after,
It's got like the perfect defense then, doesn't
territory
it?
also extends to several neighboring cities farther along the northwest coastline, as well as a small island named Patch. Nice place to raise a family, if you're into that sort of thing. Of course, all attempts to extend the kingdom's reach past the mountains and farther into the mainland have been colossal failures. But, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, Vale ain't half bad. Regular climate, natural barriers, and some serious border defenses means the citizens of Vale can spend less time worrying about survival and more time just living their lives. Of course, with the fall of Beacon, everyone's a little more worried these days.
I know, I still can't believe what happened at the end of volume 3.
Hope you enjoyed that peek behind the curtain for
That was really short, okay. So yeah, I really can't grasp yet still what happened at the end of volume 3. I've come to terms with the fact that Pierre is dead. It sucks, but it is what it is. But just the fact that the entire place is basically desolate now, because there's a lot more Grim obviously coming to that place because of because of Kevin, which again is the funniest name for a giant wyvern dragon thing. It's so funny. Yeah, it's baffling. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening. Alright, this one is Mistral. I feel like they could have just done this all in one video, like the different parts of the world. But...
Right, where were we? The east of Sanus is Remnant's second largest landmass, Anima. That's where you'll find the kingdom of Mistral. Of the 4 kingdoms, Mistral has the most controlled territory, meaning you'll find a wider variety of ecosystems and lifestyles. Trust me, this place is something for everyone, for better or worse. The high society folks of Mistral are known worldwide for their contributions to fashion, architecture, theater, all the things that make the world pretty and tolerable.
Yeah.
But its lower class has got a fame of its own. Mistral's home to the biggest black market on the planet. Need something that's hard to find? Got someone that's hard to kill? They can help, provided you've got the CLEAAAN to pay for it. There's one common thread that links all these people together, though, and that's their respect for nature, particularly the sea and the sky. The natural resources and geography of the area impacted Mistral's culture and technology in a big way. Its first settlers found shelter high up in the wind-carved cliffs, and as their population grew, so did their ability to utilize the land.
I don't know why this area just kind of reminds me of
real bunch of forward thinkers.
Avatar, The Last Airbender.
The bigger the kingdom.
I know I make a lot of like references to that show with
There's
this
a
one,
reason
but it just does. I don't know why.
thieves flock to Mistral. Main city's right under the council's eye, sure, but places like Windpath and Kuchinashi start to get a little farther out of sight. There's plenty of places to hide in Mistral.
Ooh. Epic. Yeah, Mistral seems like a pretty interesting area. Have we met anybody that's from Mistral? There probably is. I mean, there's so many characters in the show. I'm sure one of them's probably from there. But it'll probably be some... Oh, yeah, I'm from Mistral, by the way. Anyways, should we go get some food? It'll probably be something that's been said in, like, passing that I've just completely missed. Or maybe there's been a big deal about it and I'm just stupid. It could be anything. But the next one, Atlas. Yeah, these just go through them, thank God. Makes my life a little bit easier. Now we all know who's from Atlas. Oh God, what have I done? I've set myself off.
It's time we talked about the fine people at the top of the world.
God, I'm so sorry.
Atlas is Remnant's youngest and arguably most successful kingdom, but it's a bit of a special case. See, before the Great War, there was no Atlas. There was Mantle.
Mental.
At some point in time, a group of settlers were crazy enough to venture out into the northernmost continent of Solitas. I guess when you're that desperate, a frozen hunk of rock doesn't seem like such a bad place to call home. As a matter of fact, the harsh weather conditions proved to be just as useful as the mountain ranges when it came to keeping the creatures of Grim at bay.
Oh.
It also kept the people of Mantle from flourishing. Humanity's got a neat trick up its sleeve, though. Whenever we're faced with a problem, our inclination is to find a solution.
That is a lot of
Solitas forced its settlers to adapt.
dust.
They developed a more advanced technology, and they did it faster than the rest of the world, because they had to survive. But it was the Great War that really kicked things off. New forms of dust application and weaponry allowed Mantle to expand. More and more territory was set aside for dust mining and research. The territory beside the kingdom's combat school, Alcius, was the most opportune area to construct a new R&D facility. But by the time things were all said and done, it would be much, much more. Alcius was reopened as Atlas after the Great War to house many of the warriors now seeking guidance in an effort to give back to the citizens. Mantle applied all sorts of new dust techniques and technologies it had used in the war to beef up the Academy's campus. The school grounds expanded faster than they could have imagined, and even helped to better secure the surrounding areas. It wasn't long before the kingdom's military moved in, then the labs,
Of course.
research facilities,
Iron Daddy. I
and
love it.
eventually even residential areas started popping up.
You guys smell that? Smell an asshole! I fucking know who you are. God, even his silhouette looks like an ass.
In time, it became
I haven't even met him
apparent
yet.
that the city of Mantle
Technically.
was living in Atlas shadow. And so the decision was made to move the kingdom's capital. Mantle was old news, and the kingdom of Atlas was born. A golden age of prosperity, they called it. But those left behind in Mantle would probably tell you that it was the coldest winter they ever knew.
Damn, that was deep. Yeah, I could just tell who that was. Like I said, even his silhouette looks like a twat. But yeah, interesting that that Atlas was something else before it became Atlas. I'm assuming just when the military moved in, that's when, you know, everything kind of turned into Atlas. Yeah, interesting. I like it. I like finding out the lore of the world. I mean, we've still got another like 5 to watch. I'm sorry as well, because I'm trying to speak, but every time I speak, my throat is trying to make me cough. So every now and again, you'll see me just randomly go. That's because I'm trying not to cough, so it looks stupid, but, you know. Things I do. This one's gonna cough though.
Now, if there's one kingdom that's had it harder than the people of Mantle, it's Vacuo, the last of the 4 great kingdoms. The western end of Sanus is a barren and desolate wasteland. But long ago, before man went and ruined everything, it was a paradise. In the center of the vast desert was an oasis unlike anything you'd ever seen. A jungle bursting with natural resources, geographical defenses, and the world's largest recorded deposit of dust. Nomads that survived the journey across the scorching sands settled down in this little hidden gem, and over time the kingdom of Vacuo thrived. Unfortunately, comfort breeds weakness. While the rest of Remnant had to learn
I like
to
that.
adapt in order to
Comfort
survive,
breeds weakness.
Vacuo's ancient society kicked back and lived a life of complacency. But when other, more developed kingdoms set their eyes on everything Vacuo had to offer, its citizens couldn't do anything to stop them from taking it. Years of human conflict, unrestricted mining, and ecological disasters have changed Vacuo. The paradise that was once there is practically indistinguishable from the surrounding deserts.
Ah, damn.
Live in makeshift homes, uprooting and traveling frequently in response to the fleeting resources and occasional attacks from the creatures of Grimm. After the Great War, a formal government was finally established. But by that point, the folks living in Vacuo didn't much care to uphold its laws, making Shade Academy the only real source of order.
It's a little bit like a skull right there.
Order isn't everything. Vacuo may not be as prim and proper as the other 3 kingdoms, but it's still standing. And the people there have a mutual respect for one another. You see, there's really only one unspoken rule in Vacuo. If you can survive here, then you're welcome here.
Mm.
So there you have it. Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo. You know, Oz would always say that the 4 kingdoms were a representation of what mankind is capable of when working together. Ever the optimist. We sure could use him now.
I want to see him more. I know he's went missing. I have no idea where. There's no way Cinder's defeated him. Ain't no way, no how. I didn't see any of his abilities being used apart from, like, you know, that little green bubble thing he made to, like, protect himself. There is no way he lost to Cinder. I don't believe it. Not at all. Not when you've got friggin', what was her name? Salem or whatever it was. The crazy one that looked like a human Grimm. If he has had a fight with her, which my theory is that that's how the moon got destroyed. I don't know if that's right. But they obviously know each other. And they obviously don't get along with each other. Unless they used to be lovers. Could you imagine? That would be nuts. But, yeah. I just don't believe it. I don't believe he got, like, taken. There's no way. And there's no way anyways, because Cinders came up to kill Pyrrha, and he obviously wasn't there. I'm just talking out my ass right now. Moving on. Alright, Between Kingdoms. What's this one about?
So, now you know more about the kingdoms. But, what's between the big cities?
That is true.
The easy answer is Rim. There's no reason to beat around the bush. They're out there. And it probably won't go well if you run into one. That's okay, because you're a huntsman. Or huntress. And you've trained at one
What
of
if
the
I'm
major
neither?
academies, so you're probably fine. Just don't get yourself overrun by a pack of them.
What if I get drunk one time and I'm just like, you know what it is, I'm just gonna
After a
go.
long day of killing Grimm and saving the world, you're going to probably want to stop at a small town inn. Small villages dot the land between the major cities. You might ask, with the wilderness being so dangerous, why not just live in the big cities? Well, that life isn't meant for everyone. These small towns are founded by people that have a problem with the kingdoms, or don't want to deal with the kingdom's problems, or maybe just enjoy the simpler life and would rather take their chances in the wild than in a kingdom. It goes about as well as you'd think.
Go say, do they not have like Huntsman
Founders are
on?
smart, then there's a good
on
chance
call?
these towns can survive for the same reason the kingdoms continue to.
Natural land. I like that.
Strong defenses and stubborn citizens. If you don't have at least a few of those, then the chances of a town lasting more than a year isn't great. Unfortunately, it's not just the Grimm running around ruining.
Seems like a
towns.
great world to live in, though.
Wandering bandits are another threat. These groups of usually fairly skilled fighters travel the lands, never settling in one place. They often prey on convoys, sending goods between kingdoms. But that's not all. These raiders will often wait for a town to be at its weakest, maybe after a Grimm attack, or while its fighters are out hunting, before finally moving in at night.
Oh, my throat is gonna fall out, I swear to God.
Jerks. The worst part is, if the Grimm hadn't attacked before, you'd better be damn sure they will now. And you can't exactly have bandits raid your town without at least a few negative emotions. This is also why bandits never stay in the towns they conquer. With attitudes like the ones they have, Grimm tend to be pretty interested in them as well. As long as they keep moving, they've got a better chance of survival. Besides these small towns, the areas between kingdoms really depend on the continent. Harsh deserts, icy tundras, lush forests, you name it. At this point, pretty much every inch of Remnant has been mapped out. Although there are some areas that no one's gone into and come out alive.
Ooh.
And of course, somewhere out there is where she is.
Oh God damn it! Don't do this to me, Jesus Christ. She. So does Crow know about her as well? I'm hoping that they're talking about. I keep calling her Salem. I don't actually remember if that's her name. But yeah, I'll for simplicity's sake, I'll just keep calling her that. All right, the Faunus. I know a lot about these, so. But it's always good to get a reality check. Find out that I know nothing of them.
You know, most of us spend a lot of time talking about mankind versus Grimm, but technically, there is a third party in the mix. The Faunus.
They're like half human, half Grimm, I swear to God.
Faunus are a species on Remnant that appear to be human in just about every way. Every way but one. Each Faunus has a single animalistic trait, some more apparent than others. Ram horns, tiger claws, cat ears.
Ah,
I
Blake.
swear on my Huntsman's license, I once saw a guy regrow his severed lizard tail. I swear, no amount of drinking can make you forget that pretty picture. As far as everyone's aware, Faunus have been around as long as mankind, if not a little longer. History gets a little fuzzy past a certain point, but we do know that their kind and ours are completely compatible from a
Oh my god, come on.
biological standpoint. Take 2 wolf Faunus, and you get a little wolf cub kiddo. A wolf Faunus
Would
and
never
a
have
human
thought about it.
also typically means your little bundle of joy's teething phase could get a little dicey. But if you take a wolf Faunus and a bull Faunus, for example, it's a complete roll of the dice. For all you know, you could be cleaning up your son's shedded snake skin. Scientists are still scratching their heads when it comes to, well, a lot about the Faunus. But science isn't the real problem. It's how we all get along. Or in this case, how we don't. Early man was scared to death of the Faunus. And honestly, it's not too hard to sympathize with that. Seeing something that looks like you and acts like you walk out of the forest and reveal a pair of fangs can be a little upsetting.
Yeah, that'd be
Like most things, man,
straight
doesn't
thinking
understand,
some sort of satanic
all sorts of rumors
deal,
and
like
stories surround the Faunus.
someone's made a deal with the devil.
People avoided them like the plague, pushing them out of settlements and sometimes even hunting them down. Man began to outnumber the Faunus, and the Faunus began to consider man nothing more than a hostile species. Can't really blame them. These clashes between species were unavoidable, as land that was safe from the Grim was in constant short supply. But it was the Grim that finally brought humans and Faunus together for the first time. A village in Sanus fell under attack, and the only reason anyone survived was because the humans and Faunus united against their common enemy. It was a step in the right direction, but it didn't fix everything. Once humanity learned they weren't so different from the Faunus, they still used those differences as an excuse to exploit and alienate them. The treatment of the Faunus differed around the world, and things wouldn't improve much for them until the Great War. Vale and Vacuo against Mantle and Mistral, a war unlike anyone had ever seen. And when it was over, the world was desperate to find compromises that would ensure they'd never see the likes of it again.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
Were awarded equal rights as citizens of Remnant, and as an apology,
Probably
given
have.
an entire continent of their own to do with
Oh,
as
that-
they pleased. There were some that saw this as fair and just, but many saw it for what it
Can't
really
even
was.
laugh without bloody
Slap
coughing.
in the face from a nation of sore losers.
Oh man.
And so Menagerie was born. There's still Faunus all over the world, though the fair treatment they were promised varies in quality from place to place. But Menagerie will always be their safe haven. Here's the thing, though. You can only push and prod people so much before they reach a tipping point. And when you pack those people together, it just makes it all the easier for them to get
Yep.
organized
You get Adam.
and get even.
Yep. That stupid twat.
Hope
He
you enjoyed
took
that peek behind
my
the curtain
girl's
for
arm. Ugh. I hate him with a passion. I thought maybe because he was friends with Blake, or brothers with Blake, or lovers with Blake, I have no idea what they were, that, you know, she would get through to him and everything would be hunky-dory. But no. Instead, he goes to kill her. I don't think he was actually going to kill her. But obviously Yang went to go save him, and the dude chopped her arm off. And what the hell is that? Now, don't get me wrong, I think she'll get her arm back, not her actual arm, but probably like a robot arm or something. Because, you know, considering Iron Daddy is literally half android, I don't see why it's clearly possible. So, she'll probably more than likely definitely do that, since I think fighting with one arm is going to be extremely difficult for her. And I very much doubt she'll give up on her dream to become a huntress.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Tell me about the Schnee Dust
Got a few
Company.
words to say about this one. The Schnee Dust Company. Bunch of self-entitled, monopolizing SNOBs. Who don't care about making a profit, no matter how many little people they gotta step on to make it happen. But that's just my opinion. As you all know,
Clearly, he doesn't like them.
Depends almost entirely on a crystallized substance known as dust. It powers our cities, fuels our machines, and gives us a fighting chance against the creatures of Grimm. Which means it's extremely valuable. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to buy dust products without the Schnee Company snowflake stamped on the box. But it didn't always used to be that way. Nicholas Schnee was the son of a dust miner turned soldier. Born just after the Great War, he found himself at the perfect point in history to take full advantage of the world's next industrial revolution. The Kingdom of Mantle, soon to be Atlas, was in a transformative period. They'd found themselves on the forefront of technology, but realized they depleted nearly all of their natural resources to do so. That's where old Nick came in.
Good old Nick.
Rather than watch his kingdom become dependent on the aid of others, young Nicholas Schnee decided to spend his days at combat school, his nights working alongside his father in the dwindling Mantle mines, and any time in between learning everything he could about anything he didn't know. The kid had a fire in his belly. When his father died, he left his son everything he had. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Nick to set his plan into action. He left school, rallied all the men he could afford, and set out on an expedition to find a dust deposit that could revitalize his kingdom. And wouldn't you know, he actually pulled it off.
Oh, of course he did.
Fast forward just a few years and the name Schnee suddenly meant something. Quality, affordability, trust. See, all those years spent in combat school were so that Nick could personally oversee every new expedition. People appreciate a man who's willing to stick his neck out for them. And it's how the Schnee Dust Company earned the business of every kingdom and remnant. Unfortunately, it's also what led to an early retirement. Nick had started a family that missed him, and his body was tired. Years of working in dust mines can have some nasty side effects on your health. And so enters Jacques Joulet. Having married into the family, Jacques decided to take the Schnee name over his own. He was...
Baffling. I did not know that. So he's not... So he just married into the family and then changed his name. So not only is he a giant throbbing bellend, right? But he isn't even technically part of the family. He just took over it because he married into the family. Oh my! Like I hate him even more now, even more than I did.
A lot of words I shouldn't repeat, but most importantly, he was a cunning businessman. Jacques managed to convince Nicholas that he was the perfect man to run the SDC in his place. And from a certain point of view, he was right. Under Jacques' leadership, the Schnee Dust Company has become more profitable than ever, completely dominating the industry, but at the cost of the company's soul.
Yep. Of course.
Dangerous working conditions, doing whatever it takes to destroy the competition. Jacques Schnee doesn't care about people. He cares about winning. That, and making sure he's got the best damn PR team in the world. The Schnee name still means something today, but as for what it'll mean tomorrow,
Ugh.
well, your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, look at that she is. I can't believe I used to hate her back in the day. Yeah, alright, so I got a lot to say about that one though. So, the Schnee Company, taking over dust was a good thing. Like Crow said at the beginning, dust became, easy to get, affordable prices and everything. And it was delivered all across the world. Dude has a family. The family are like, I want you back. I want you back. So then he goes to them, dies because, you know, working in a mine is never good. You get the Black Death. Sorry. If you've ever seen Zoolander, you probably get that reference. But, yeah, so you get the Black Death, you know. I mean, I'm assuming multicolored death in dust terms, I guess. And then, of course, he dies. Then I assume his daughter married Jacques. They had a baby. Well, actually two that I know of. Obviously, Winter and Weiss. And yeah, like I said, giant throbbing bell end. Wow. I didn't think I could hate him anymore. A man, by the way, I haven't even met yet. And I can already tell he was a twat. But even more so than what I thought. Right, this is the last one, boys. 7 minutes. I thought I said 16 minutes. 7 minutes long. Let's go. The Great War. Oh my god, is this going to tell me? Oh.
The Great War. What a terrible name for such a horrible time in history.
Or is this just about the four countries,
the war itself lasted
continents or whatever,
around 10
fighting each other?
The century leading up to it was filled with so much tension, you might as well lump them together. And most of that tension was coming from Mistral. Territories rich with resources and safe from Grimm have always been in high demand. But the Emperor of Mistral had managed to conquer nearly all that Anima had to offer. Thanks in part to an unlikely friend, Mantle.
Of course.
The two kingdoms had formed an alliance. Mistral provided the small kingdom with goods unavailable in the frozen tundra. In return, Mantle introduced technological innovation as well as guidance in the settlement of Anima's cold, northern territory. It was good, until it wasn't.
See that one coming.
Mantle led to a strange and unexpected decree. The abolishment of the arts and repression of self-expression. The people of Mantle had come to believe that they would be much safer from the Grimm if they could simply keep the emotions of the masses in check. Given Mistral's strong, artistic culture, many assumed this would be the end of their alliance. But they were wrong. Mistral complied, selectively, enforcing Mantle's wishes only in the outer territories, allowing the centralized powers to continue to live as they pleased. If you haven't caught on yet, Mistral's full of jerks.
Giant throbbing bellies. It wouldn't surprise me if Jacques came from there.
Well, they had a problem with a lot of things Mistral and Mantle had been up to. Treatment of their citizens, use of slave labor, and their constant insistence that their way of life was what was best for everyone. Eventually, Mistral made the jump across the sea to the eastern coast of Sanus. The small islands and peninsulas in the area were perfect to establish a settlement. They were so perfect, in fact, that Vale had just begun settling the area themselves. I think we can all guess what happened next. The King of Vale did everything he could to avoid armed conflict. Despite cries from his people, he insisted on sharing the land with the settlers from Mistral. But...
Sorry, I was just trying to say his sword. I thought it was the same one that Osmond had.
To this day, no one knows who shot first.
I can't tell.
But what began as a riot between the two bands of settlers had suddenly become the first battle of the Great War. Mantle quickly came to Mistral's side. Battles were fought on both Sanus and Anima soil. Villages were lost to both combat and Grimm. And it wasn't long before Vacuo decided to join the party. Up to this point, Vacuo had done its best to stay out of the fight. Mantle and Mistral, having both already established a small presence in Vacuo territory years before, promised to leave them provided they didn't interfere. Soon,
sorry, I'm just popping a soother.
It went from don't side with them to side with us and you'll be safe. Vacuo did not much care for that.
Oh, Vacuo don't give a shit.
If Vale were to fall, there'd be no one left to stop Mistral and Mantle from conquering them next. So they did.
So that's why they joined together.
A logical thing. They drove Mantle and Mistral out of Vacuo and told Vale they had their backs.
Hell yeah.
I love their style. So the war raged on. Grim attacks increased worldwide. On the battlefield, this meant a temporary ceasefire in order to deal with the hordes of monsters before returning to the fight at hand. Those left miserable back at home, however, were often helpless with their best warriors away fighting the good fight. A lot of settlements were lost during these years, and most were never reclaimed. Rations on food and dust were put into effect. Development of technology accelerated. Humans and Faunus who fought alongside one another became closer. And every day, mankind grew more and more efficient at destroying itself.
Sounds like real life.
Ended in the Vacuo campaign. Mistral and Mantle knew that if they could take the dust mines of Vacuo, they would effectively cut off the supply of dust to their enemy. It was to be a final devastating blow to Vale and Vacuo. They were only half right. The King of Vale personally led his army into battle alongside the soldiers of Vacuo and decimated the enemy forces. Crown atop his head and armed only
I
with a
swear
sword
to
and
God.
stick, he laid waste to count.
Is that the same sword that Osman has?
As the
Not the one that he was
sun
holding,
soaked
the
with blood,
the other
grid
thing.
came in droves.
I can't picture Osman's sword right now.
And legends of the greatness and terror of the warrior king were born that day.
Or is that just a sheath?
Historians
I don't
will
know.
tell you most of these stories are nothing but grandiose hyperbole.
I'm thinking too much on it at this
Unusually
point.
violent weather conditions, combined with Mantle's unfamiliarity with the desert combat, are likely what led to such a high death count. But whatever the reasoning, everyone bowed to the King of Vale.
You damn straight they did.
The Great War had ended. The world was ready to live under the rule of Vale. But the king refused. The leaders of the four kingdoms met on the island of Vital, and it was there that they worked together to form a treaty and establish the future of Remnant. Territories were redistributed, slavery was abolished, governments restructured, and the warrior king, the last king Vale would ever have, founded the Huntsman academies and placed his most trusted followers
So my
in each
dude,
kingdom school.
the King of Vale,
He would
was
teach
just
the
an
world to
absolute
fight so long as we promised to
Chad
fight for
Adonis. Like
ourselves
this. Oh,
and never against ourselves.
just reminds me of Hashirama.
Seems like we haven't kept our end of the bargain.
Hope you enjoyed that peek behind the curtain.
Awesome. Right, well, we have one more thing to watch. So I have the Volume 4 character short. Now, I have had a few messages and stuff like that of people saying, maybe don't watch it because it can show some stuff. Oh, my Razer Naga's low battery. Yeah, but I'm still going to watch it because I can't imagine there being, like, too many, like, just massive spoilers. So let's get on it. Let's go. It's only 5 minutes long. This video is going to be like nearly 50 minutes. Oh, hell yeah. I knew they started using a different engine after Volume 3 for the animation. This looks so much better. So much cleaner. It kind of reminds me of Genshin Impact, the way it looks. Oh, she's a beast. So has she just been like going by herself? Obviously I know the group kind of like all left and they're all kind of doing their own thing, but she seems different. Also, costume, hell yeah. Looking chef's kiss. Nice. Yeah, I think the animation's definitely looking a lot cleaner now. What was that? I thought she became those rose petals. Like, you can't just turn into 3 people. That is a big boy. What is that gorilla looking? Yeah, that's just never healthy. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. It's just threw one of them. Is that an alpha version of whatever that is? Or is that just a normal version of a Grim that I haven't seen yet? She's using that semblance a lot more, which I like. She never really used it all too much in fights, I don't think. Oh, here's the music. Oh. Yes! This is what I want to see! Oh god. That is a... Do you just have control over that? I already finished.
You better hurry.
Oh, nope, never mind. I only just began. Yeah, I forgot they all left together, didn't they, at the end of Volume 3. Oh. Like I said, I'll be extremely surprised if she doesn't just get another arm, like a robotic one. Alright, well, we're at 45 minutes currently. So, yeah, I really enjoyed all of those World of Remnants. I was thinking that maybe I was just going to watch them myself instead of doing it, but obviously I did reactions to the rest of them. It felt like a shame to not finish them off. And I'm glad I did, because there was a lot of information that I didn't know, especially with the whole Schnee Dust Company and the Great WoR and things like that. So I'm glad I did a reaction to them in the character short as well. The costumes look so much better. I think the obviously the animation so much better, and I'm so excited to jump straight into Volume 4, which is exactly what we're gonna do. But that will be in the next video for you guys, but immediately for me. Yeah, again, I do really apologize about not making videos, and I do apologize about me constantly coughing during the World of Remnants. I was trying not to breathe too hard because that makes me cough. I was also trying not to laugh because that makes me cough. But yeah, it is what it is. I'll obviously you guys couldn't hear it because I kept muting my mic. But yeah, awesome. Well, I'm extremely glad to be back. Right now, I think I'm at 899 the last time I checked subscribers. So we're only 100 away from 1,000, which is just absolutely insane, absolutely nuts. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. I really, really can't. Hopefully 2023 will be the year that something happens. Maybe I'll start making just the tiniest bit of money from YouTube. I very much doubt I'll ever be able to make enough to the point where I'll be able to quit my bullshit job. Because I hate my job so much. But that's a story for another day, not part of a RWBY video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around and wishing me well when I was telling you guys that I wasn't feeling too good. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.